We'll move on to the next topic, that is targeting DNA repair to cure cancer. And for that, we have Dr. Masood Shammas Sahib. He is in the Department of Oncology at Dana-Farber Cancer Institute, Harvard University, Boston. A more detailed intro is available in your package. Targeting DNA repair to cure cancer.
أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Dear brothers, Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. So the purpose of my talk today is to highlight how this platform of Quran and science directed my attention towards an important problem in my field of research. So first of all, I will give a brief overview of my last year's presentation and introduce once again role of DNA repair in normal and cancer cells, and then talk about the impact this had on my research. If time allowed, I will also talk about telomeres. So our body is made of building blocks called cells, and each cell has a control center, which is called nucleus. And the most important thing in the control center is these structures we call chromosomes. And chromosomes are made of long chains of DNA, and DNA carries information required for all the life processes of an organism. However, DNA in our body is always exposed to threats, which means that damage to DNA occurs very frequently in the cell. And where are those threats? They are in the environment in the form of chemicals, radiation, viruses. They are inside our body in the form of food, byproducts of food. Acid in our body damages DNA. Heat produced in our body is damaging to DNA. Stress is associated with production of harmful chemicals which can bind to DNA and destroy the information on DNA. So when all these factors interact with DNA, information in DNA is changed or lost. And if not repaired, it can lead to cancer, heritable diseases, or reduced lifespan. So Allah Ta'ala in Holy Quran says, and I will read the translation, "We have created man from a mingled sperm drop that we might try him. So we made him hearing, seeing." So what is in the mingled sperm drop? Basically a set of 46 chromosomes. And as I already mentioned, chromosomes are made of DNA, and all this DNA within these 46 chromosomes has all the information our body and our cells require to function. Allah Ta'ala also says, "Holy is He who created all things in pairs of what the earth grows and of themselves and what they know not." Brother Khairul Bahri Sahab also mentioned about this verse, and I will show how one verse can guide two different fields in science. So very interestingly, each chromosome in every single cell of our body exists as a pair. So one comes from mother and one from father. And existence of these chromosomes in our cells as pairs has a unique significance in protection of the information on DNA. So as I mentioned, the DNA in our body is constantly being damaged. However, Allah Ta'ala has given us multiple DNA repair pathways, and they contribute to repair the DNA on a daily basis. However, one of this repair pathway, which is I have shown as HR, is a unique repair mechanism. And the reason it is unique is that this is the only repair mechanism which benefits from the existence of chromosomes as a pair. And this uniqueness, because of this uniqueness, it has the ability that whenever there is a damage to one of the chromosomes, it can copy the missing information from its pair. And this ability makes it the only error-free DNA repair system in our body, and that's why this plays the most important role in preserving the information on DNA in our body. So if we just look at the normal cell and expose it to DNA damage, within fraction of seconds, a number of HR-associated proteins, they get activated, and activity of this specific unique pathway is increased. And then this activity leads to repair of DNA damage. However, as soon as damage is repaired, all these proteins which were activated, they have to be destroyed, inactivated, so that the activity of this pathway comes back to normal. So in normal cells, this specific repair activity is extremely regulated, precise, and plays the most important role in preserving the information on DNA. However, if you look at cancer cells, even if you do not expose it to damage, activity of this pathway is always high, and we showed this a few years ago. And so what we found is that in cancer, this specific repair pathway is deregulated. So as a consequence, this activity, which actually preserves information of DNA in normal cells, in cancer cells, is causing unnecessary repair and causing changes in DNA. So what we also showed that if we somehow block this activity, we can prevent changes in DNA, and we can prevent cancer to advance from one stage to more aggressive stage of cancer. However, with this new realization that this specific repair pathway is the only DNA repair pathway which has ability to benefit from the existence of chromosomes as pairs, and this ability makes it the most precise and most important in preserving the information in our DNA. So a better approach can now be that instead of just blocking this activity, we are also trying to identify mechanisms which prevent inactivation of this specific repair activity in cancer cells. And this is because the drugs targeting these mechanisms may restore regulation rather than simply inhibiting this activity, and will have little or no toxicity to normal cells. So very briefly, I will just also mention telomeres. I don't have time to talk in detail. So if you look at these golden dots on the chromosomes, they are called telomeres. This is my another research interest. And I think in detail I will present next time, but very briefly, I will just say that the science associated with these golden dots is so interesting that it can help us explain very simple teachings of Islam at very deep molecular level. For example, why Holy Prophet ﷺ said, man fills no vessel worse than his stomach. So in Surah Luqman, Allah Ta'ala says, these are verses of the book which is full of wisdom, a guidance and a mercy for those who do good. So may Allah enable us to benefit from this wisdom and guidance in all fields of our life. Thank you so much.